Hi, good evening. This is Shami here. Well, I, I spoke to you in my earlier program regarding judgment. Today's theme is being true to yourself. When I say being true to yourself, I mean to say that one is got to be truthful to oneself. Well, there's a famous quotation which says, you can con the entire world, but you can't con yourself. And that's got a lot of meaning. It's really significant. That means, for example, you are dealing with someone and business or some kind of a family affair, and there's some kind of issue which is just cropped up or which is transpiring, and then you're held answerable, and you know that if you tell the truth, you can get away. I'm sorry, if you tell a lie, you can get away. If you tell the truth, you're sunk. So, what you do is you lie, and you get away with it. Fine, everything is just fine, everything is going in a very cool and a calm manner. There are no hassles whatsoever. But deep down, one knows that one is lied and is just got away from the situation. Fine. Now, I'll state so many anecdotes which has transpired in my life. And there are so many situations and junctures where I've not been truthful to that person. And when I just sit back or when I lie back on the bed and I just think what all transpired during the day, and then I get to realize that I've not told the truth to that person. At that time, I got away with the situation and I didn't get to cut a sorry figure in front of the person who I'm dealing with. Let it be X, Y, Z. Let it be my girl, let it be my mother, let it be a friend of mine, or let it be some kind of a client in my business. But I've lied and I've got my way through. But deep down, I know that that was not genuine, that was not authentic. I mean, a person, if he's got something which is called integrity, doesn't do that. Doesn't do that because you got to be, clear with your conscience. You got to be clear with your conscience. Now, as I told you, that I've got so many anecdotes, which I'll just state a few. And for example, I've come across so many people who have not been honest to me. For example, I know a person who I don't want to mention the name of that person. Apparently, that person seemed to be honest with me. But no, that person was not honest to me. That person was deceiving me, and I was not aware of that fact that person was deceiving me. And once I got to know that person was not loyal to me for X number of reasons which are not valid, which are not concrete as far as I'm concerned, logically looking at it, they're not valid, they're not authentic, they're not concrete. But as far as that person is concerned at that juncture, to get away with that situation, those reasons or those factors could have been logical to that person, or it could be genuine to that person, which at this juncture that person knows that those reasons were not authentic, they were not genuine. But anyway, that person lied to me, and you know what happens as a consequence? The person who delivers that lie right at that time doesn't face any kind of consequence, or doesn't go through any kind of pain or vain or humiliation or embarrassment, but the person who receives it, right? Person who receives it does go through all this. He goes through pain, he goes through sorrows, he goes through hell. I mean, that's devastating. That is devastating. Why? Because one was not honest. Okay, fine. At that juncture, fine. A person goes through all this. I mean, the receiving end goes through all these consequences, all these factors which I mentioned. And you know what happens? Somewhere down the line, the person who was not true, who was not honest, definitely, positively, undoubtedly, all said and done, goes through that phase where if that person has got a conscience, and everybody's got a conscience, the difference is that everybody's got a conscience. The only difference is some people are sensitive to the conscious and some people ain't. Some people ain't. But even those people who ain't what do you call it, sensitive to the conscious keeps pricking. The conscious keeps saying, you are not honest, you are not sincere, you are not truthful to that person who you delivered your lies or your dishonesty to. And you know what happens? That person who realizes where the conscious speaks to them by saying that you are not honest, that person goes through hell. You know why? You know why? Because they were not true to themselves. So, my dear friends, you got to be true to yourself. Because, if a person who claims to have integrity, and everybody under the sun claims to have integrity, claims to have self respect, but by not being truthful to yourself or not being true to yourself, you can't claim all these things, because not being truthful and integrity, they are poles apart. They're just poles apart. You got to be truthful to yourself to lead a peaceful life. You got to be truthful to yourself. Leave the world. Leave the world. You want to be happy in life, you got to be truthful to yourself, irrelevant to the consequences upcoming. No, you can't fear the consequences and lie to yourself. When you lie to somebody, right, or when you're dishonest to somebody, you're not being dishonest to that somebody. You're not lying to that somebody. You're lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else, but only to yourself. And that's not a very good situation to be in. Lying to yourself, you cut a sorry figure. In due course of time, one positively, that's a law of nature, one ends up cutting a sorry figure right in front of oneself. And that's a very, very horrible situation to be in, where you cut a sorry figure right in front of yourself. So, my dear friends, what I want to tell you is it's not important or significant to be truthful or honest to the world. No, it's really significant, and it's really a must that you be honest, you be truthful to yourself. Fine. Somewhere down the line, to err is human. To err is human. And, okay, fine. You committed a mistake or a blunder. Fine. You don't have to lie to that person, or you don't have to convince yourself that, no, I did it because I was entitled to that. No. Just try to ponder. that what I did, was it justice or was it injustice? Was it right or was it wrong? Don't just justify your acts by giving excuses, by capitalizing on the other person's faults or unguarded mistakes or errors of the other person, and convince yourself that what you did was right or what you did was on. No. At that time, if when a person starts justifying one's acts, okay, that always leads to suffering, that always leads to guilt. Because I went through a situation in my life where a very close person to me, a loved one to me, knowing that I didn't do anything, started justifying her acts by capitalizing on somebody else's version. Okay? And knowing that person knowing that I was not capable of doing certain things which were projected to her or which were brought to her attention, that I did those things which I didn't. And deep down, that person knows that I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And see, temporarily, yes, I got to be the sufferer. I got to suffer. And the truth is, till date I'm suffering. Yeah, yeah. So what the aim of the entire exercise is, the bottom line is that person was not truthful to herself or himself, which I don't want to mention. Okay, that person was not truthful to himself, and I know that person must be feeling miserable, must be feeling ashamed, that why wasn't I truthful to myself at that juncture, knowing what that person did was wrong, but due to situation, due to constrainment, that person conveniently just started justifying her or his acts and started, what you may call it, lying to herself or himself in order to just brave the situation. And that person didn't do justice. That person was lying to herself or himself. That person was lying. Yeah. And you think you can get away with your conscience. No. You can get away with anything, not with yourself. Because, as I told you earlier on, you can con the entire world you can con, but you can't con yourself. No way can you con yourself. Even the most insignificant lie, that's gonna prick one. That's irrelevant. One takes that for an answer or no. But it does break one's conscience, and it's going to eliminate the peace which one is entitled to have in life. So please, my dear friends, try to be honest, try to be truthful with your own self. All right. Good night. Take care. Ciao.